And we're back. So, yeah, let's begin with everybody rolling initiative.
Roll initiative.
Select your tokens.
Okay.
Try not-
die.
Oh
Try
wait,
to
I didn't
check.
select my token. Wait, no, I did select my token. I'm good. Although, one thing I wanted to say that I thought of, like, during the break, just before the duel actually starts, Vondal will sort of will say to Hefin, just as I'm not sure how much comfort this would provide, but though we do not know you specifically, I for one at least know your family.
Ugh.
He sort of smiles and says, "Oh, that's something."
Oh, we should probably be clear on as to how far we go before we start. Like, do you have any safe word? Or,
Really?
like,
You're gonna phrase that better.
look, I couldn't think of anything.
I guess. Well, Well, then here we go. How about this? Vondal saying, "Are there rules of engagement?"
This is just
Well.
gone.
You can't kill me.
Okay.
Trust me,
What about it?
I think you'll know when it's over.
Very
That's
well.
ominous.
Let's hope we don't make a mistake.
Okay.
Well,
So, oh, where's my initiative order thing? Turn order settings. Descending. Okay. So, Evan goes, right, well, shall I count us in then?
Go for it.
3, 2, 1. And on the count of 1, Hefin steps backwards and disappears inside the statue of Tritherion, which proceeds to come to life.
oh,
What?
Ah.
Fucking god damn it! Okay.
Okay, what kind of like Guild Wars 2 shit is this? Can I just say?
Fucking. What's his face?
Fucking.
God, okay, yep, this is fine.
I've just now got a large char shouting in my ear. We burned down his city and buried the ashes. Make him remember that day.
Okay. Arya, you go first.
I don't want to fucking destroy the statue. God damn it. Well, this is unfortunate now, isn't it?
Got anything good against large statues?
No. Is he considered a large monster?
It's like 10 to 15 feet tall, so I would say yes.
So they're not inhibited by rough terrain, are they?
They are, but it depends what kind of rough terrain.
I was just thinking spike growth. But I guess the others will want to get closer.
I feel like you
away.
can just walk around because it's not like,
Yeah.
we're not really like in a fin corridor or anything.
No, you're in quite a wide room.
Okay, whatever. I'm gonna cast Flaming Arrow
Okay.
on my quiver.
Magic up your weapons.
Yep, buff before the raid.
Okay.
Wow. This is
Oh, wait, I can't
already
do it. I can't
during
do it.
the
It's an
raid.
action.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
action.
The raid has started.
Yeah, frantic buffing has occurred.
Kelariis has pulled, and you haven't got time to buff.
God damn it, Kelariis. I'm supposed to wait for him.
Okay. And I assume you want to maintain, use your movement to maintain like optimal range away from him.
Yeah.
Cool. Lyra?
Huh.
Lyra?
Fight the statue. Go
I
for
don't know.
it. Go for
Yeah,
the ankles.
I don't know if biting a statue is gonna be
Be,
that effective.
be distracting and take the dodge action. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I'll just do that.
Okay. Lyra runs around its ankles, taking the dodge action. V.
How far away am I from this fellow? This big statue fellow.
Probably about 60 feet.
Cool. This, mechanically speaking, may not do shit, but I want to do it because it might be cool. I would like to spend a sorcery point to extend the range of this, because I have distance spell. And I would like to try to pull the soul back out of it with blight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cool.
Wow.
So, you unleash the energy from the blight spell. There is nothing for you to latch onto.
Balls. I had a feeling, but balls.
Your blight relies on focusing on some sort of life energy. This thing has none.
Damn it.
Mechanics terms, it's immune to necrotic damage.
Yeah, I know.
Dim it.
Still, it was a cool concept.
It was.
It was a cool concept.
That would have been really
Yeah.
cool.
That would have been.
He-
I would have liked
Heaven's
to see the
voice.
surprise on his face.
Heaven's voice booms from the statue and sort of says, "You'll have to try harder than that, lass."
Wow.
Wow.
Grim?
Okay. Well, I guess somebody needs to be smitten, smote. So,
Smote, not smitten!
Smitten is something totally different.
look,
Yeah,
fine,
you get smitten for people.
fine.
You don't. You smoke.
Look, I'll try and like flank using Lyra.
Okay.
And then.
Bear in mind that this thing is still 60 feet away, so...
Oh, it's 60 feet away.
Yeah.
Oh. In that case, I can't even get there. So I will actually. What I will do is I'll run up the 25 feet that I can muster.
Okay.
And double checking my dart range. Yes, I can actually make it. I'll throw a dart. I'll throw a dart.
Okay.
That's better. I hope.
The second one, you actually managed to find purchase in the stone.
Oh, okay. So then, in that case, I would like to goading attack.
Okay. So,
Like,
your attack hits and deals no damage whatsoever to the statue.
Cool.
It does have to make a wisdom saving throw, however.
yeah. Wait, why does it have?
Oh my god.
What?
Natural one.
What? Is it a natural one?
He has a +8 to wisdom saving throws, and he got a natural one.
Oh, buddy.
You goaded.
Sorry.
You've been goaded.
So what do you say to him to goad him?
Yeah.
It's like, well, show a little guy what you've got.
Okay.
Find someone your own size.
Size.
Wow.
Oh,
Yes, so-
Perfect.
like, yeah, I thought you were saying half, like short, like your size didn't matter.
That's not what my mother told me.
Okay.
Grim can become twice the size as well.
Ha! I'll take you up on that! Stomps forward. The statue, you notice, is quite slow. It gets about 25 feet before it comes to a halt. At which point, it basically picks up the one of the stone animals at its feet, which have which seem to move as part of it, but seem to be separate parts of the statue, and it hurls one at you.
No.
What?
Bye, Grim.
This is fun.
It sails over your head and impacts just behind you.
Oof.
I don't know how I feel about defacing a statue of, my god.
I think it's meant to
Valerian.
be the face, though.
Yeah, but I don't
Well-
also like it.
Do you have to find a maybe you have to find a way to get the ghost out?
I was trying that.
Vondal.
Well, I guess what Vondal would do. I guess he'd go for the magic weapon on Tallithsyr's bow again,
Okay.
just to give her a hand.
Okay.
Every member of this team is valuable.
Magic up.
I'm gonna give her.
You're
I'm gonna
all
give her the
valid.
magic. I'm gonna give her a magic +2
Okay.
with a 4th level spell slot.
Let me open up the serious character sheet because I actually added a thing that will let me do that.
Nice. At which
no.
point, Vondal will try and move, like, presumably the other side, the other direction to where Grim went, and since the statue's moved forward, I might be able to get close enough to throw the hammer, potentially. I don't know how far behind me Tallithsyr was, but can I get within 20 feet of the statue?
Sorry, say that again?
I don't. Could I feasibly get within 20 feet of the statue to
Yes.
throw a hammer? Cool. I will do that then. Cool.
That is a hit. Cool. So, I'm gonna have to keep track of this in a different thing, because I haven't actually got a sheet for it, or a sheet that will let me do it under normal circumstances, but yeah, that hits. So the dwarven thrower like flies out and strikes the statue. So that is cool. Yeah, you successfully hit.
Cool. I think that's all I will do for now.
Okay.
Although I guess one quick thing. Before like running away from Tallithsyr, he just sort of adds, you know, suppressing fire, keep it busy, if you, or like don't let up.
Okay.
Keep your distance.
Kelariis.
This is well, you know what? I was told it's time to fight. How far am I from it right now?
You started 60 feet away from it. It has moved 25 feet towards you.
Oh shit. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah, you know what? I'll go the 30 feet for now.
Okay.
Good old javelin. No, actually, I'll use my lightning breath.
Okay.
Because, you know, fuck it, right?
Okay, go for it. It's a dex saving throw, right?
It is, yes.
Okay. Against DC
13, I think.
it fails.
Oh. Oh boy. Look at that.
Okay.
Oh,
You notice as lightning sparks up the statue that actually doesn't seem to do a huge amount to the statue. It leaves a couple of blast marks in it, but
it's unsurprising.
Whoops.
It's rumble, buddy.
Okay.
Let's go.
Tallithsyr is going to take a shot.
Do I have to? No, I think that'll add it.
I've added the things automatically. Yeah, there we go. So that's a 12, which is not enough to hit. The arrow just hits the edge of the statue and just like scatters off. Arya.
Shoot her. Oh,
Okay. That is not a hit, but Lyra is now in range to make an attack if she wants to.
I don't know, man. I don't think it's gonna do shit. You can try, Luka.
Well,
Yeah, I guess.
Worst
Yeah.
does nothing. Best case,
Well,
something happens.
doesn't
Like
hit
a
anyway.
mouth rock.
Okay. That is not enough to penetrate the armor's the statue's thick armor or thick stone.
Hmm.
Also, I guess it moved away from
Lyra.
my last turn. But that's fine.
No, because Lyra was 40 feet from it, moved 40 feet forward, took the dodge action. It moved 25 feet within range of Lyra. Because it is large, so it would still be within range of Lyra.
This is fine.
Again, not enough to penetrate the armor.
God. don't really know what to do. I'm going to cast haste on who the fuck is closest to me? Who is in my walking distance?
Everybody, because nobody is dashed.
Okay. I'm gonna put it on Arya.
Okay.
And I will slowly back away.
Okay. Grim.
Well, I will close the final bit of distance.
Yep.
And I'm going to assume this is a construct.
It is a construct.
So I get 8+.
This thing's gonna get hella dunked on.
Okay.
Not if Grim rolls is 3.
Is that a hit?
No, it is not. So you bring the mace down, and it's blocked by the longsword from the statue of Tallithsyr, and again, just knocked aside.
It has higher than 18 balls.
Well, I would hit it with my shield, but I wouldn't do anything.
You just slap it on
Yeah.
the leg.
Look, it's too big. Too big.
Yeah. So the statue looks down at you and says, "You might want to duck for this one," and swings with the sword.
God.
27.
Holy shit.
Oh, that's a hit.
42 bludgeoning damage as you are knocked asunder by this statue.
God.
It swings again.
Oh.
Yeah, -3 because it's mundane. That's a crit.
Oh wow.
Oh, Grim!
Okay. That is 63 bludgeoning damage.
Right.
Has Grim finally been knocked down?
I know, is he shit.
Minus this, and then 63.
-63.
I
Yeah.
will use parry, because I feel like that is a wise idea.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good parry.
10,
So you take 53 instead.
and then minus an additional 3.
Yep.
That's 50.
Okay.
I'm up.
Grim, fucking
So
legend.
you just watch as Grim brings his shield up, and like this statue just hits him with it, and like
Holy shit.
this would have like just turned a lesser man to goo. And
Gonna say.
Grim is still standing after this swing, and he's like, "Oh, still up," and again, and like, no, that I'm just describing. Chill.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good.
There's no first
So-
swing, don't worry.
Grim is basically like pounded into the ground.
Oh,
Like you said, all you got.
Vondal.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah, Grim, you think a couple of your ribs are broken. Maybe all of them.
Yep.
Fuck me.
holy shit, okay.
Except don't. Fucking hell.
Interesting fact. Without heavy armor feats, I would have been knocked down.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a heavy feat.
Fuck.
I mean, it's amazing that you survived that at all.
Yep. It was a good roll to save my ass.
Literally, if that had been V, she would have turned into a puddle of goo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Vondal heads over to Grim.
That impact would have just hit V, and you would have just like you'd see her, and then you wouldn't see her, and then just like 3 petals would drift down and land on the ground, and that would be it.
Horrible.
Wow.
Actually, no, that would have insta-killed her, because the first hit would have brought her to like 1 health,
Yes.
and then she would have gone to negative her max health.
Wait, no, the first one was like 53, right?
No, the first one was
No.
42.
First one was 42. The second one was
Yeah, the first. The first one
63.
brought me down to 0 then.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
then you were good.
Okay. But yeah, Vondal's probably gonna go over to Grim for obvious reasons.
Really?
Really, yeah. And it's just gonna sort of announce the obvious in going, somehow I don't think a straight fight is gonna be quite that easy.
Nope.
Any ideas? And yeah, there's a cure wounds coming your way.
Okay.
Vondal, can you melt that stone?
Not while it's moving.
Okay.
Yeah, because technically it's a creature.
Yeah.
Well,
Enjoy that
Not
23 hit points.
It's not gonna last.
No, I'm not sure how much it's gonna do for him.
well, it might be enough for a single hit if because I get to heal myself too at some point.
Yeah, because you go before it. Ah. But then I guess I'm getting a little bit more distance between me and the statue after the heal.
To get to Grim, you have to go basically your full movement.
Okay, yeah, fair.
So you are still within range of the statue.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Also, if you pull away from the statue, you get an attack of opportunity. I'm not sure you want that.
Yeah, I would, but no, I don't.
Kelariis.
Okay. I have a really weird idea, but like I don't know if it's gonna work because I don't know. Oh no, you just said this is considered a construct.
It's a construct, yes.
Fuck. Okay, never mind. Because I have this spell called Magic Circle that I've never used, and I was just like, oh, maybe it's considered celestial because it's radiant, and I was like, no, it's a construct. Just kidding.
Magic Circle also takes like a minute to cast.
Yeah, that's 10 full
yeah,
rounds.
I'm an idiot. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I believe the spell you're looking for is like protection from evil and good.
Yeah,
but even that wouldn't work.
But I don't have that prep, so I'm pretty fucked anyway. Yep, I mean, like, my best bet here is to go in swinging. I think I'm gonna cast Thunder Smite as I go in.
Okay.
Because that's thunder damage.
So,
right?
yeah, bonus action Thunderous Smite.
Yes. Man, I can't wait to get fucking wrecked. I don't suppose there's any way that I could position myself so that, like, we have flanking in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, no, I would say so, yeah.
Okay, well that's good. So yeah, I guess I'll attempt to swing at its ankles?
Okay.
Shins?
Whoa.
Something.
Swing.
Swing.
Okay, it's a hit.
Awesome, okay. And then it's...
Okay.
6 thunder damage. Or roll 20 freeze, that's cool too.
And what's the other effect of Thunderous Smite?
It can... Or let me... Do... Must succeed... If it's a creature, it must succeed on a
Strength saving throw. Okay.
Away. And knocked prone.
What is the DC of that? What is your spell save DC?
14.
Okay. So... Yeah, the Thunderous Smite comes down, and it almost looks like it pushes the leg out from under the statue, but he catches himself with the shield up, with the free hand. He's like, good, but not quite enough.
And I guess I'll go for a second swing.
Okay.
Hit him again!
Again, I unfortunately I cannot Thunderous Smite again, but I can maybe regular Smite if I hit.
That's a hit.
Okay.
Okay.
And I will... You know what? I'll dump a regular Smite in there.
Okay.
At third level, so. Oh, that was a shit roll.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not
yeah,
worst.
that's
It was kind of recovered by that.
So,
eight.
like, you're like watching the legs of this statue begin to like splinter and become like riddled with cracks.
Yeah.
Tallithsyr will shoot.
That wasn't very confident.
You can do it, girl.
Oh, wow.
Nope.
Oh, I'm
Clink.
17.
Like an 18 didn't hit it either, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a rough time.
Arya.
I would like take out my shatter
Fuck
Okay.
'em up, guys.
thing,
You pull the amulet from around your neck.
and I want to use it on him.
Boom.
Stop! God damn it, you guys!
So cast.
How do I cast?
Oh yeah, you don't actually have a thing to roll shatter, do you?
No, I don't.
Hang on.
It's 3d6.
Yeah, it's 3d6 and it has disadvantage on the saving throw.
D8, sorry. D8.
Oh, 3d8, yeah. So it's against your... What is your spell save DC?
It's 14.
Wait,
Okay.
doesn't the item come with the spell save DC? This or
No.
okay.
It fails, so
Yes!
Nice.
roll damage.
How much damage does Shadow deal?
3d8.
3d8. Okay, so you cast Shatter on the legs of this thing and blow both legs to smithereens. The shatter also causes the statue to crack and crumble into dust, revealing inside the ghostly form of Hefin Brambleback.
Hey, buddy.
So much
Alright
for,
then.
So much for recovering the statue.
Yeah, I feel bad about that.
Well,
Okay.
Not our fault.
Arya, you still have a hasted action?
yeah. I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay. Shh.
Oh man, no, I'm not.
No, you're not.
Nope. He nimbly powers it with his ghost shield.
Can Arya, can Lyra bite a ghost?
You can certainly try.
The way you
Classic
said
line.
that.
That's like the cockiest way you've ever said
Yeah.
that.
You can now punch ghosts.
Might be able to bite a ghost.
Why would you want to punch ghosts? I don't know, have you ever met a ghost you don't want to punch? Yes!
Yes, yes, I have.
But seriously though, does a 21 hit?
A 21 does
Doesn't
hit.
have any-
14 piercing damage.
He definitely, like, the Lyra's jaws latch onto him, and he's just like, ha-ha! And just sort of, like, tries to, like, shake her off. It did hit him.
Okay, well,
Quick,
that's
make a
good to
DC
know.
11 strength save.
Yeah.
I
I mean, hey, look, anything could happen.
He might be immune to prone.
He is not actually immune to prone,
Oh
Knock
shit.
him down.
surprisingly enough.
Oh
down.
my god.
Unless I've copied that incorrectly. Oh no, yeah, no, I have. Yeah, he is immune to prone.
Oh.
Fuck you.
That's fair.
I didn't actually copy his list of immunities, and his list of immunities is fucking long. Holy shit. Okay.
Imagine
know.
he's a ghost.
That sounds bad.
Anyway, Lyra gets another bite.
Go, Lyra.
On our own turn, yeah.
Doesn't
Oh.
Nope, doesn't hit. Actually, no. Pack tactics, yes, you do.
Ah,
Yay!
get bit, bitch.
Okay.
Get bit.
Nom nom.
Okay. So, like, he's just like batting Lyra away, while all the while looking completely jovial.
I'm sure.
V.
I don't think
Sure, if you
that
look this motherfucker.
Vondal cannot hold back a smile at the moment. This guy's a legend.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
That's a lot of ones. Can we talk about how many ones that
yeah,
is?
that is.
That is
Yeah.
a butt ton
Remember,
of
you're
ones.
rolling d4s, so that's. So
That's
he gets
4-1.
blasted by this barrage of magic missiles, and he's like, "Oof, okay, that one hurt."
Yeah!
Grim.
Nice one, V.
Well,
You've done
there's
better
one
than that.
obvious move that I'm gonna make, and that is second wind.
Okay,
I need some help, so it survive the next attack.
suck it up.
That's a kind of air second wind, but there you go.
Could be worse though.
Could be
It's
a
a
lot.
4. It's decent. And then, like, so is he like completely out of the?
Out of the statue, yes.
Okay. In that case, I will. Well, actually, that means I can probably just swing at him. Here we go.
That's a
Should
hit.
not miss. Oh, it is a hit.
No longer the giant statue. He's just a dude now.
Just a
Just a
dude.
Ghost?
Just a regular dude.
Just a regular ghost dude.
Ghosty boy.
A regular dude.
And
Who would win? A party of
on.
veteran adventurers or one tiny
menacing
dude?
attack.
Okay.
Look,
Or one ghosty boy.
He is
Or one
unfortunately
ghosty boy.
immune to fear. He cannot be frightened.
Well,
I,
he is a ghost.
He's a
well, at
ghost.
least I got the 3 extra points of damage in.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is also a hit.
Oh,
What?
he is
Wow.
In that case, he's wielding a weapon, right?
Yes.
He's a squishy baby.
Bam.
Okay.
Disarming attack.
Strength saving throw. That's a -1.
Nice.
Buddy.
Cool. So, roll some damage, please.
Suddenly,
yes.
him going
I'll
straight
roll
for the
damage.
statue makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I forgot to press the button. That's why.
Can you shove him?
I can action search shove.
That seems like... yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but then I can even attack him like another time.
He's still immune to prone.
Yeah, but no, we can
Yeah,
shove
but
him
shove
backwards,
push.
away from his weapon.
Right.
Yep.
So,
So
I
he'll
should,
be literally disarmed and have no way
so
to pick it up.
I should push him.
Okay. He cannot succeed on that.
Oh.
Wow.
Like neither
Wow.
dex nor strength.
Nope. He has a -2 to strength and a -1 to dex.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow.
Buddy.
Well, I
That's it.
guess I walk up over the weapon and I have one more attack left.
Okay.
In that case.
God, this just turned into a
Dunk.
fucking... like... What?
Okay.
That is shit damage.
Well, that's a 1.
Yeah, that is minimum damage.
That is minimum
Okay.
damage.
So, Haven's gonna be like, oh, fighting dirty. Well, 2 can play at that. And he...
Feel like possession or some
he
shit.
raises his head backwards and lets out a piercing battle cry. And for a moment, he appears to take on the aspect of Tritherion himself.
Oh
what?
my.
I need everybody in the room to make me a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw. Kelariis, you have
Wait,
advantage.
wait,
Is
is
it
a
for being
fucking-
frightened?
It is against frightened, yes.
Okay, anybody who's within 10 feet of me will not be frightened.
Oh, okay,
I
so
have a great
that's
thing
Fuck
called
is it
Aura
within 10
Courage.
feet?
Sorry, everybody else.
so that's
Anyway.
Arya v. Just Arya v. Thalithsyr.
Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, because wait, were you back?
Wait, how
no,
far is
she's
this
pointing at the
aura
statue.
got?
60 feet.
Yeah.
Alright.
So Grim, you don't even need to make
Oh,
fucking
okay.
buy Thalithsyr. Oh, Thalithsyr.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
Grim. So yeah. That's okay.
So Grim
So
does
I
not
do have
make
to make
one.
one.
Yeah, V and Arya do. Okay.
Suck on it, bitch.
Okay, so
Nice.
V is not frightened of this aspect of Tritherion appearing. Arya, you are, and Thalithsyr is. Vondal.
Yay. Right. Well, I guess Vondal's reaction is fairly straightforward.
Okay.
He's going to... In fact, I will cast... So I've got a... Oh no, I don't have to touch. I will cast Shield of Faith on Grim,
Okay.
and then I will throw the hammer.
Okay.
Once I deduct the spell slot.
Okay.
And then... Dwarven Thrower.
Hit. Cool. So, your hammer sails towards
Yeah.
heaven.
Before he says... Although before just as he throws it, he just says, "All's fair in love and war."
Okay. Without his sword, he goes to raise the shield and actually, like, brings up the shield, and the hammer hits the shield, knocks him backwards, probably about 5 feet, and then he just goes. And with that, the room is plunged into basically darkness because the only people holding lights are Kelariis and V, all of a sudden.
Whoa.
Because if it wasn't immediately obvious, he was the only thing lighting the room.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
Well, it's obvious now.
Happen, come back. I'm so...
Yeah. So, yeah, he disappears.
Was that supposed to happen? Is this thing still
I-
here?
I hope
Yes. So.
not. Well,
About 10 seconds elapse. and all of a sudden a pale glow starts to fill the room again, just in front of the altar. And sort of lying on the altar forms the shape of this halfling, just like completely knocked on his back, sprawling. And just sort of like pulls himself to his feet and says, "Oh, that was a good fight."
I don't know if I can actually like physically help him up, but I kind of like attempt.
By the time you get to him, he's already on his feet. So
well, shit.
it's like, oh, well played.
You as well. I don't think I could have handled that on my own, to be honest.
Most don't.
Not with the state you put not with the state you put our gnome friend in.
Look,
He grimaces and says, "Ah, yeah, sorry about that. Sometimes I forget my own strength."
look, it wasn't hard enough, eh?
Evidently not.
Although I did appreciate the lack of strength. Well, restraint in that case.
Yeah. You give pretty good yourself.
Yeah. No one's dead, and well, we've had a bit of a laugh, I suppose.
Grim just massages his like 8 broken ribs.
Yeah,
Fun.
which have kind of temporarily been massively. That's why he said, "I suppose."
Grim, I'll
Mostly
give you
referring
25,
to.
hit points.
Okay.
Oh, lovely.
I will lay on hands.
Heaven sort of smiles and sort of says, "You know, I've not seen 5 people like you since... well, since I died."
Yeah?
Well, I imagine you were. I've forgotten her name now. God damn it.
Jasmal?
Small.
Yeah, Vondal says. I imagine, of course, you must have been associated with Jasmal then.
Associated with... yeah, you could say that.
Oh no.
Are you okay?
Depends on what you mean by okay.
They totally were in a relationship, guys.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is there any way we can make you not clearly in pain?
Hmm?
Well,
He sort of looks at you quizzically and like, "You know I'm dead, son."
Yeah,
Oh.
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 I think he's pretty
Well,
chill.
Vondal just shrugs and is saying,
Look, I'm a sacred guardian in this place. Once I finish putting the statue back together, I'll be fine.
Oh, you can do that. That's good.
that is reassuring.
Hey, the big man himself doesn't grant everlasting life without a few perks.
Clearly not.
You know, that's fair.
Fixing a statue's the least I can do.
Though I suppose you have quite a story to tell.
Depends how long you've got.
Well, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
Well,
I think we...
Program.
yeah, I think Grim could use a bit of a breather, and I'd love to hear your story.
It'd be nice to hear what the history books have not filled us in on.
aye.
We were not expecting others based on their account.
Really?
Hmm.
Ah.
We were expecting merely Jasmal.
Well, that just takes the biscuit, doesn't it? One magic weapon and all of a sudden... No, I'm not upset. So, what do you want to know?
Well, I guess what are you willing to share?
Well,
Well, how
Aren't you-
about for starters? How did you end up in this place?
how did I end up in this place? I died a damn hero.
Yeah, but like the heroic death is the interesting part.
I suppose it is. It's also one of the longer ones. Suffice it to say that Jasmine and I, we got in some pretty hairy scrapes. I mean, starting a slave rebellion in a whole city probably wasn't the best place to get started. But yeah.
That was, important.
Oh yes, it certainly was. Made us a lot of enemies, though.
As expected.
But can't complain much. The three-way god had his mission, and we did it. Lost a few on the way, but we did it.
What did he? Wait, what did he call?
The three-way god.
The three-way god.
Yes.
I'm assuming I've never heard Tritherian referred to.
You have never heard him referred to as that, but it makes sense considering his ideology and symbology.
Right, right.
So why did you specifically become the guardian of this place? Why, if you lost some people along the way, why were you the one to defy death?
Well, I wouldn't really say defy death. I am still dead.
You're still here, though.
Yes. Well, when Jasmal died, there was a lot to look after, to protect, and I did my best while I could. And when I died, I stood in front of the big man himself, and he said, "What do you want to do with all this?" And I said, "Well, the same as I've ever done." And that's how I ended up here. The company's not all that bad, he says, pointing to the Sphinx, who has been just sort of sitting in the corner patiently waiting.
If she has, well, if she had plenty of riddles, I imagine you've had quite the intellectual stimulation.
Not really. Never was that bright.
Fair enough.
How often do people come here and fight you?
Give or take a little bit of lost time, but you're probably the first people in, gone 120 years.
Did they succeed?
No,
What happened to them?
they left.
I guess there's one important question that we haven't actually asked. The artifact is still here, right?
He sort of looks at you quizzically. Well, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't.
Okay. Just
Well,
making sure, because as much as as much as I appreciate a good fight, it would be unfortunate if we came down here for nothing.
I suppose what I would like to ask is, well, how did it all start? Truly, the uprising, that is. And how did it go?
Well, how does anything like that start? I ended up slammed in a prison, sold as a slave, ended up in this city. And I met this girl. Eyes aflame with some passion and some strange dream that some red-headed god was going to lead us all to freedom. I had a good laugh at her the first couple of times, but just something about her, you know. She told the truth. So I pitched in, figuring what could be worse. All said and done, we got pretty far.
I mean, I would say so. You succeeded. Well, in a
He wrinkles up his face a little bit and sort of says, "Aye, but and Tritherian, forgive me for this, but sometimes I do wonder if it was the right thing in the end." There were
Why do you say that?
things that happened after. We started, the 7 of us, best of friends. After a while, things got in the way. We all had these grand dreams, but none of us could agree on how to proceed with them.
Who were the others? I will admit I'm not completely versed in all the history, especially of this city, but I've never heard of anybody else besides just Maul.
Most depictions wouldn't have you think anyone else was involved.
He sort of frowns and thinks to himself for a moment. You know, perhaps that's right. After all, we didn't do it for the heroism or the glory. We did it because it was the right thing to do. Perhaps it's better that our names are now mud.
I think still that I'd like to know them, even if most of the world doesn't.
Okay. He gives you a list of names, which I will give you after the session because I don't actually have them on me right now.
That is 100% fine. Sorry to be difficult about that.
That's okay.
Oh. What happens actually when we grab the artifacts? Are you just gonna disappear, or are you gonna...
Stay here.
Don't know. No one's ever gotten that far before.
On one hand, I'm kind of excited to see what it actually is, but on the other hand, if we're gonna rest here, we might as well have some company.
Okay.
Would certainly be nice before taking the near week-long walk back to the top.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, you guys take a short rest.
Yep.
Roll hit dice if you want to.
Yeah, might as well.
Poor Grim.
I know. Grim
Yeah.
took a beating for us.
Look, this is fine.
Yeah, I literally took no damage in that fight,
How much?
but poor Grim got pounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, there's plenty of fights where it's the other way around, where I just don't seem to get hit. This time, at least I got hit. Oh wow, that was actually exactly what I needed.
Okay.
Oh nice.
So, Grim, you're feeling a lot better after the short rest. At which point Heaven stands up and sort of says, "Right, well, third test's not going to wait any longer."
There's more.
Wait, was that not? Wait.
Wait, what?
Wait. The third test?
Oh, what more awaits?
If I told you that, that'd be cheating.
Of course.
Well, then could you kindly point us into the direction that we should be going?
He points beyond the altar, and now that the statue is cleared, the sort of the faint illumination coming from heaven radiates outwards and points towards a set of wooden doors.
Well,
At which point the Sphinx stands up and sort of begins to walk towards them.
I guess before leaving, I turn and like proper bow to Hefin and say, "It was an honor to fight you. And, if nobody else does, I will at least remember your names."
That's very kind of you. Go on then.
And if we take the spear and you poof away, I hope your soul finds rest.
Oh, I'm sure the big man's got a job or two for me left.
I guess as Vondal's leaving, he just makes a little comment of like, and then I'll continue to enjoy your family brew when I get back.
Okay.
Just to try and keep it light, because
Yep.
he seems to be the kind of person.
He nods appreciatively.
Hope things work out for you.
Yeah.
Just sort of shrugs.
Yeah, look.
I've been dead this long. So, wooden doors push open and lead into a much, much smaller chamber. One that actually barely all 5 of you can stand in with the Sphinx in. And the Sphinx turns to you and suddenly takes on a very somber face. And with a very somber look on her face, sort of says, "This next trial has a price."
What is it?
Only one can face it, and they must face it alone, with no help.
I mean, I if I wasn't already at the very front, like I step forward and like
Okay.
square my shoulders.
Okay.
Well, what is this test? Or
The
may you not tell?
Sphinx splays her paws, says a few words, and casts a spell. In front of you, a 10-foot rend in reality and space opens.
Oh.
On the other side is the closest thing that you have ever seen that this could be compared to is a lake of fire.
Holy shit.
Wow.
The portal opens onto a tiny, crumbling platform. And as you look out over the edge of this thing, Kelariis, you've heard stories of sea serpents that exist out in the deep ocean. Stories that old fishermen tell around campfires as horror stories. This creature that rises out of the lake of fire is what you would expect a sea serpent to look like, only its skin is molten rock and metal.
Cool.
It towers maybe 20 feet tall over this platform, and it almost seems to be waiting for you.
I guess I look to the Sphinx, kind of like. I guess I don't know, like just kind of like make eye contact very quickly, like, all right, guess this is it, you know, kind of like make sure I'm not misunderstanding something here.
She nods.
And I will step through. Yeah, step through the scary, terrifying rift.
Okay. So, for the rest of you, Kelariis takes a step forward and disappears through this rift, which then, in less than a second, seals behind her.
I just want to turn to the Sphinx and just say, what exactly have you sent her into?
Doom.
Oh.
Couldn't be less ominous, now could it?
Can you not elaborate?
There are 3 trials of Tritherion. Freedom, Retribution, and Doom.
Well, I guess an important question is, just in case she fails, will we know?
Will she even return to us?
The Sphinx displays its paws in a gesture that can only be described as, I do not know.
Vondal now looks really angry.
Calm down, Vondal. Like, just give it an hour or so. Like, if there's any problems, you can just message her.
If anyone's suited to take this task, it's Kelariis.
Yeah.
She has 2 artifacts of Tritherion already, so...
It's still annoying that even though Kelariis is chosen by Tritherion, she still has to go through all of these trials, like last time as well. Why does especially she have to keep risking her life for something that Tritherion is setting her up to do? I feel like this is unnecessarily cruelty.
Well,
Such is the nature of divinity.
yep, she has to prove that she's willing to do whatever it takes.
You're a big fan of trial by fire.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly.
Okay. Kelariis.
Yep.
The moment you step through the portal, the world turns black. And in this moment, in a moment you should feel trepidation, fear, you feel nothing. The only feeling you have in your chest is that you have to do this. And as you feel this, you hear footsteps. Metal-booted footsteps.
Can I pinpoint where they're coming from? Or like what direction?
The moment you try and focus on your senses, you realize you're kneeling, looking down at the floor. And the footsteps are coming from in front of you.
Can I look up?
You look up, and standing in front of you, in a set of half-plate armor, is a dark-skinned woman.
Oh, shit.
Holding a spear.
Oh.
She stops about 20 feet from you. This woman looks incredibly familiar to you. You've seen a lot of her since you got here.
Yeah. Am I like bound kneeling or just kneeling?
You are like kneeling with your hands on your knees. You don't feel like you're bound in any way, but you can't see your own body.
Ah, I see.
But the sensation is that you're kneeling with your hands on your knees.
Right. I guess I just look up to her, like eye contact, and say,
Okay.
Jasmal, right?
Yes.
My name is Kelariis Greysurge, and
I know.
then you probably also know why I'm here.
I do.
I was told this is another trial. What is it that I need to do myself?
You have already succeeded. You walked alone into the face of certain death. No one has ever got this far.
I wouldn't have done it without my friends. Or I couldn't have done it without my friends.
She doesn't respond to that.
Where are we?
You are in an illusion. I am not really here. This is a projection of who I once was. I left this here in case anyone ever passed the final challenge. We do not have long. You will be returned shortly. When you arrive in the tomb, there is one more thing. One more challenge that I myself placed. Not to test your worthiness, but to show you what it really means to be someone like us. Remember that.
I will.
And in that moment, you are snapped back to reality. So, everybody else, approximately a minute after Kelariis disappeared, Kelariis reappears in front of you, kneeling on the floor.
See, I told you, Vondal. Just patience.
I guess I just kind of like, I slowly rise and look at the Sphinx and say, or I don't actually say anything, I think I just look at the Sphinx.
I'm sorry for the deception. But it
It's
was
alright,
necessary.
I would have done it even if it wasn't deception. But I understand.
Your companions look at you confused.
I think Vondal's a bit too annoyed to look confused.
I would add that he's also annoyed.
Okay.
Arya's not annoyed. She just is somewhat confused, but not really.
Yeah. Same.
Then you are ready.
Yes.
This time, the Sphinx opens a different portal. One that leads into a similar room to the one you're standing in currently. Stone walls, bare, unfurnished, supported by a single pillar in the centre of the room. And just beyond that pillar you can see a plain pauper's sarcophagus.
I guess I nod to the Sphinx and kind of, I guess I'm going in alone. As far, like, I'm not gonna stop anybody from coming with me, but I don't necessarily expect anybody else to follow, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The Sphinx nods to you as you go to the portal and says, "The portal will remain open, so long as you are within."
I see. Yeah, I guess I kind of like turn to everybody else and just kind of like give a reassuring look and then step through.
Okay, you step through. The Sphinx turns to the rest of you and says, "My task here is complete. I return now to my own domain." And, with a soundless pop, disappears.
Bye, thanks.
Well done.
Are you guys going through, or...?
I guess, yeah.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
you might as well follow Kelariis.
Okay. You step
She
inside.
seems to know what she's doing.
Wow.
So, the room you step into is probably no more than 20 feet by 20 feet. Supported by a singular pillar in the centre of the room. Located in the back of the room is a stone pauper's sarcophagus. Unfurnished, undecorated, covered in a thick layer of dust.
I'll walk over to it and kind of do my best to clear the dust that's on it.
Okay. Yeah, you run your hand through the dust. A lot of it clings to your skin and scales, but you wipe away a decent portion of it. It is blank.
And this is the only thing in the...
It's the only thing in the room.
Guess, can I push it open?
Make me a strength check.
Okay.
Okay. With a strength of purpose that knowing this is where you were meant to end up, you push this heavy stone lid aside and it clanks to the other side. And you stare into an empty sarcophagus.
Well, that's concerning. Like, even if I reach in, there's nothing?
Nothing at all.
Was it supposed to be in there? Kelariis?
I thought it would be, but there's not even like remnants of a body in.
Nothing. It is as clean as if it has remained sealed since the moment it was crafted. No signs that anything was ever placed here.
Is there anything else here?
Everybody make me a perception check.
So close.
I am so very, very
God
confused.
damn it. Do I have advantage?
No.
No.
Okay. There is nothing here.
The real question, I suppose, is there supposed to be something here? Or is this another test?
She said there would be another test to show what it what it means to be us, but I don't know what that means.
Who said that?
Crazy idea. You have to lay in the coffin.
Oh my god!
That is certainly crazy. Not what I was thinking, but
Wow,
certainly
okay.
crazy.
I mean, shit.
Like,
I don't
Doesn't-
have.
Perhaps I would have suggested kneeling before the coffin, but
You know, I was thinking I might pray before I try going into the coffin itself, but like.
maybe. I wonder what she could mean by that.
I feel like I've missed something very.
I suppose try what you were going to do and then go for the crazy idea.
well, at least my idea is harmless, so. But,
Yeah, until the
prayer-
coffin like
prayer-
seals itself on me.
Suffocates
we-
you.
We have pickaxes.
Wow. Please don't desecrate the tomb.
Look,
You will if you're dying.
That is fair.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna care if you're dying. No,
So-
I meant like about desecrating the tomb.
You
Not
know
about-
what you meant.
I got
Not
You know
about
what you
Kelariis
meant. You
dying.
just could have worded that a lot better.
I will care very much if Kelariis is dying, which is why I won't care about desecrating
Okay.
the tomb.
Yeah, we know what you meant. You just worded it terribly.
I did, yeah.
I like to imagine that was all in character.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, what?
wow.
I guess.
You wanna-
I will kneel
do you wanna-
and pray.
Do you want a blanket in there?
A blanket.
I'm not going in the
She's not
coffin
going in
just
yet.
yet. I'm gonna pray first.
V's gonna put a blanket in the coffin.
Okay, you put a blanket in the coffin.
Thanks, V. It's okay. I'm gonna attempt to pray first.
Kelariis, as you go to kneel before this tomb, there's a boot print in the dust
What?
that certainly isn't yours, and next to it a smudge, as if somebody else has kneeled here.
Hint, hint.
Then I will attempt to match it, more or
Okay.
less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you end up kneeling forward, 1 foot on the ground, 1 knee on the floor, with your hands on your knee, sort of like a knight's bow before their sword.
Yeah.
And you sit there for a moment. You close your eyes. You focus on a prayer. And all of a sudden, the floor falls out from underneath you, and you pitch forward into complete darkness.
Well.
And that's where we're going to end.
I
Huzzah!
was waiting for the cliffhanger. I was like, it's coming at some point.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, this is not gonna. This
Get
isn't wrapping up
in
here.
the coffin.
Get in the coffin.
So,
That's our equivalent of bone.
I was
there.
ready to make that such a comfy coffin.
Yeah, I
No,
really appreciate
wow.
it. Thank you.
No,
I
like-
really do.
Guys, you do realize get in the coffin is now our equivalent of bone, right?
What?
What?
Bone? You know.
anyway.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I
Come on.
don't.
Big bone! Exclamation! What thing has very famously someone exclaiming into a room full of people, bone?
Oh, I see.
Anyway.
I don't know why you would make that connection personally, but
Because
yeah.
because I know nothing. Okay. Let's move on from my terrible attempt at making a reference.
Yes. So, who wants to go first and tell me everything they have learned about today?
I guess I should go because I also very much have to go in about like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Vondal has learned like, jeez, like, I guess for the moment he's learned what the fuck. He's like really sort of oddly like confused and conflicted now, even more so than he was over Tritherian. Because like, this is intense shit. What the hell? So he's a bit more like conflicted on that and like highly concerned. And I guess as a player, traps. Traps. Check for fucking traps.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I guess, if nothing else, the little incursion with the Mummy Lord has taught us that sometimes side quests aid the main quest.
I had personally completely forgotten that it was a side quest to begin with.
Yeah.
I thought we were like on track and like doing shit, and then I was like,
Technically, no.
I mean, it kind of like merged into the main quest because we encountered the Mummy Lord so early on.
So I
Yeah.
guess now I have an entire city in my bag.
Yep. You
Yes.
do.
Yep.
So that's
Casual.
You have an
weird.
entire city on your back. Yeah, I'm also gonna go now.
Okay. Thank you for playing.
Bye.
Yeah. I guess Camp will have to catch up on experience because I'm going to award. You know what? I'm going to be generous and round this up.
Mummy Lord experience, let's go!
Have 8,000 experience.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck!
Well, I imagine that second guy, the halfling was a ton of experience.
Yeah.
So, who wants to tell me next what you have learned?
I can
Sure.
go. Oh. Ah.
Yeah, Luka volunteered. Luka first.
Okay.
Technically, we volunteered at the same time, but yeah, this session was a lot.
That's one way of putting it.
I like multiple times during the last like scene or whatever, I was like, all right, when's the cliffhanger coming? Like, we're gonna stop like when she walks into the portal the first time, or we're gonna stop like after the giant guy fight. And none of those things were actually the ending point, which is interesting. We were building the whole time the actual ending point, which was Kelariis potentially going to meet Tritherion, which is what I think is gonna happen. Which
Do you think I do think I died falling down?
No.
Like, drop one?
No, I don't think you're dead.
I was like,
No,
my gosh, I'm dead now.
No, I just mean like, I feel like you're gonna go meet him like in a vision, like in the same way you met the other one, sort of. I didn't mean you died. God, guys, stop making my words the wrong way. Fuck. I can't say anything. Anyway.
Meanwhile, Arya.
Arya, wow, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Arya really admires Kelariis in a lot of ways. So she's glad to see her, like, sort of coming to this point in her quest, because it's been a long time coming. And, you know, I think she really admires that Kelariis just, like, was willing to do whatever the fuck she had to do to get her objective.
Yep.
To the point where she would walk into what certainly looked like death.
Yep.
Without any fear. So, yeah, I don't know. It's so interesting. When we made these characters at the beginning, I didn't really see anything in Kelariis that Arya would like particularly be like super interested in, but now she's like super invested in Kelariis' goals.
Oh.
Which is an interesting way that this campaign has ended up going.
Yeah.
But
I think
I don't know. I mean, I feel like they have very similar values, which may be because they're both chaotic neutrals.
No, chaotic goods.
Chaotic good. Chaotic good.
Yup.
But you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I feel like V has like kind of the opposite reaction to all of this, where she's like, because I feel like in the past she's learned that sometimes we all do stupid fucking shit. And she's like, why is Tritherion, or why are all of his followers continuously like encouraging this stuff where it's just like, I don't know, it just feels like they're trying to overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Especially because it's like, I don't know, especially with the whole Doom thing, it's like, V is just like, sorry, is it a good thing that you would walk straight into death for your god? Because I feel like it's not, okay?
Yeah, I think that's an especially fitting challenge to what Kelariis believes in from V's point of view. Because to V, life is precious. Life is the most important thing.
Yeah. And I also wasn't sure what V actually thought of Heaven, because she's like, you know what, you're still undead. Like, whether a god shows it or not, you're still here alive while you shouldn't be.
Yes, I thought that was an interesting point as well.
So V kind of hopes he poofs away and his soul can return to the actual cycle. Because right now, he's been stuck here for a long ass time, and that's not cool. You are past your due date, my dude.
Wow.
Your time has come.
No, yeah, V has some very, like, I don't know. I don't think she was happy with this whole thing at the end.
Yes.
I think she would have rather have fought, like, 2 more mummy lords than to have any of this stuff.
Huh.
Yes, I think this has been an interesting session for V, because she's gotten to see both sides of undeath and immortality. And she doesn't like either of them.
Yeah, it's not good.
somewhere in a different plane of existence, a woman is sitting on her ebony throne, ticking a lot of boxes, going, "Yep, yep, yep."
Wonder who that could be.
I can't believe V's being prepped to be the next Raven Queen.
I can't believe.
No, I'm not.
No,
being
she's
prepped to be the
not.
next Raven Queen. I am
Yeah.
being prepped to be the other side of the Raven Queen.
Yes,
I guess that's true.
the counterparts, the other side to the coin, yin to yang.
So, are you gonna be like what? The Swan? The Swan Queen? No, 'cause white is black.
No.
Wow.
No.
I feel like I should have started that aesthetic way earlier if I was going for that.
Yeah.
I know, right? I mean, you could start like collecting feathers.
Wow.
I feel like that would definitely be something V would do.
I mean, I have pretty rocks and stuff, but look.
Could go for the rock aesthetic instead.
Go for the rock
First to
aesthetic.
get feathered.
Yeah.
Look.
Become a shiny rock elemental.
Oh my god. No, yeah, I think there's some thoughts there, and
Some unresolved issues.
especially also with the with just before the heaven fight, I was like, I as Helena would be perfectly happy letting you do this fight on your own, but V is just like, stop being an idiot.
And it's a good job you did all work together because, yeah, that fight could potentially have kicked your ass.
Yup.
Potentially.
Yeah, I mean, no, it definitely would have.
Ew.
Grim nearly got knocked down.
I
Yeah.
know, that was crazy. I thought for sure he was going down, but of course Grim never falls down, so...
Look, I was on
Good thing
5 health.
you rolled so high on that parry as well. That was
Yes.
really nice.
Yeah, like I had to roll 6 or higher to survive.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
But my legacy still stands.
Literally.
Do you want to take the reins next then?
Oh, sure. It's been kind of interesting because, on one hand, we basically took out like an army of undead. Like, there were so many.
Yes, you did.
But on the other hand, he's kind of disappointed that we didn't find more regarding the Dread Legion.
Except
did
for the
find-
fact that you found literally the key to the Forbidden City.
That is
So-
true. Yeah, but we aren't really sure how. We haven't figured out how it ties in and what they want with it quite yet, because we know the Yuan-Ti want it.
Yes.
So this is definitely gonna put a massive target on our back. But that's a risk we're gonna have to take because we've cleared the way to it. Otherwise, well, after the whole Mummy Lord, I guess we basically only had we had all these challenges. I was kind of like Grim's kind of okay with it. He maybe a little over the top sometimes, but he gets the idea. Like, you don't want to just hand out your artifacts to any old, well, anyone. Did like although the whole undead guardian thing did like make me think a little bit, but it was like, well, I guess that there's a difference between him here as a ghost and your average undead. Because this undead is here for a purpose. Like, it's not like it couldn't actually, like, its task couldn't be fulfilled by any living creature.
No.
So it's more of a, well, in this case it's more of a tool than just a menace.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
basically, undead slavery is okay, you know.
Don't say that.
Oh my god, Minnie,
I mean,
why?
This,
I'm very glad none of you took massive umbrage at any of the defenders to this tomb, especially because Arya failed her nature check and failed to deduce that sphinxes are actually monstrosities.
Oh my god! I would have been all out of bitch.
Yeah.
And it
And
would have been bad, because I'm sure she could just kick our
yeah,
ass.
sphinxes can really fuck you up if you're not careful.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't think Grim has been this low in like since the fireball
Yep.
incident. That's like the last time.
Oh, well, yeah. Because there was also the two mummies that really kicked your ass.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That was pretty bad, but it was like I still
You were on like 12 or something.
yeah, they're still double digits.
Yeah, this is the first time I've got you to single digits in a long time.
Hey, I haven't been on single digits in a long time.
Yeah.
That's also true.
That's also true.
But that's because I have to go through 4 other people to get to you most of the time.
Yeah, which is purposeful.
Yeah, like that means we're doing our jobs.
I don't
Also
think.
the-
Well, the only HP that I lost today was because of traps.
Yep.
God.
Which is exactly how it needs to be.
Also the
Ideally
biggest-
without the traps, but we can deal with that.
The biggest difference also this time is like in this last fight, I just went all out with all my maneuvers
noticed
and
that.
stuff,
Yep.
Yeah.
and it was quite effective.
Yes, it was.
Like after, and the best thing is after that short rest, like and the 4 hit dice, and your healing, I was back to before the fight basically.
Yep.
Like I was ready to go again.
Wow.
But that's fighter for you.
Yep.
God, this is insane.
Fighters are great. I love fighters.
You know,
People-
it was nice to see that power.
People tend to sell them short, pun intended, but they are
Wow.
pretty good.
Okay, so like high key, he was the guy that what's her face?
Jasmine.
Jezebel?
Just
Jasmal. It's a very weird name. That Jasmal like loved, right? Like they were together. Silence.
The silence.
Look, he's like
He's not gonna tell
contemplating
us.
because if he says yes, we're gonna force a romance upon him again.
No, I'm not
maybe.
gonna. They're dead.
But they're also both dead.
They're both dead. But I just remember way back when we were first learning about them, that was a thing that like we learned.
There's
And
one
also,
more-
I just have my shipper goggles on all the time, so you can't pull a fast one on me,
Permanently.
son.
Permanently.
Although there was one more thing I found interesting this session, like at the very end, where Kelariis had the test of faith, basically, or what Grim considered it, like how Vondal and V like doubted him, or they were like all getting angry, like how little faith they had in Triferion in that regard.
Look, literally 5 seconds ago, we had been fighting this giant fucking statue. There was no reason not to believe that he wouldn't put Kelariis in danger again. And he has done so in the past.
Well, but like for me, it was a combination of faith in Kelariis and the fact that like it would hiccups. It would be stupid not to. Well, it would be stupid just to have something that kills off your followers.
Yeah.
Like,
And why would Tallithsyr need to test Kelariis' faith at this point in time anyway?
To be fair to him, these tests seem like they've been here for like fucking ever.
Yeah.
So.
And there have been people who have tried them before and people who have failed. So there were others who came looking for these artifacts. And the protections worked.
They definitely did something.
So you're saying that like someone defeated the giant statue and stuff, and then looked at the vision and went, actually no.
Well, didn't they say that nobody had made it past fighting with Hafen before?
Nobody had ever beaten Hafen. Yeah.
Then why was the last test even there?
It was the final thing. You
Well,
had
it's
to
like-
prove that your loyalty to Tritherion was
Like,
bigger
it's-
than your fear.
Like first you showed your wits, then you showed your strength, and then you showed you're fearless.
Yeah, and your loyalty.
Well, like
I
you're
respect
either
it.
fearless.
Power, courage, and wisdom.
Oh no!
God damn.
Triforce.
3 Triforce sections.
So like it kind of makes sense, but
I think it's bullshit. I think it's a dick move from Tritherion's part.
look, gods
Well-
are bullshit.
As long as you don't think it's a dick move on my part.
Can't it be both?
Wow.
Wow.
It's not that V doesn't trust Tritheryon, or it's not that V doesn't trust Kelariis, but it's just completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
like, we
stop.
came this far, we have
Yeah.
all these artifacts, and yet we have to go through more tests every damn time.
Yep.
Well, I guess it is
It's like high
true that we
school.
don't-
God.
Like, I guess the thing we don't know is that like in that like whilst in there, she also got to like actually have a tiny conversation with Jastamal, and then like now we have absolutely no clue what is happening.
Fine, we're all in the same boat now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. So last but not least,
A lot happened this. Okay,
That-
let's.
that's an
let's work through
understatement.
this. Yeah, let's work through that. First of all, traps, because I don't think we've been hit with this many traps consecutively in a very, very long time.
Yerp.
So, we've gotten careless a little bit, I think. And I sometimes forget that traps exist because we've gotten careless about it, I guess.
See,
but yeah.
I remember the adventuring party of 5 individuals that went into a temple underneath a cathedral in search of a sword and were paranoid of literally everything.
Oh, how
we were young.
We were young.
Well,
So
look,
Luka wouldn't pick up a mask because she was convinced it was cursed.
Oh my
It was just a mask.
Rob.
we would basically check every single brick of the building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now look at us. We just start shoving things off
Yep.
of, yeah.
Yep, just
Jesus,
flip this
combat.
sarcophagus open. Whoops! Blew up in
Oh
my
shit,
face.
that's shrapnel.
The best part was that it was like 4 of us standing right next to it.
Yeah.
I feel like we've just had an affinity for just like getting caught in AoEs.
Yep.
Somehow
that
there
sounds
will
about
be at least 4 people in an AoE.
Yes. I mean, I'm sad the Mummy Lord didn't get to use more of his AoEs, but nah, you guys just rolled really fucking high on damage.
You know?
I think you're mostly shaming Kelariis here for that crit.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I missed like half my attacks though.
I mean, you half-healthed him on round 1 to the point where I had to blow the cleric's largest spell slot on Cure Wounds.
Okay, fair.
And I'm so sad that I didn't get to do my Storm Sphere because I just rolled a crit on that stupid
Yeah,
lightning
that was
bolt,
my
and you were
bad.
just like, actually, that didn't happen. And
That
I
was
like,
my fault.
No.
That's on me. I have to remember my effects better.
It's a struggle.
It is a struggle, especially when I'm trying to juggle multiple things.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, sorry, carry on, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. I'm still not really sure if I've gathered all my thoughts on everything that just happened. I think, knowing what happened last time, I don't think Kelariis really expected to be able to just walk in and get the spear, like to get Kerlestro, but I don't think she expected it to be on this sort of a level.
Yeah.
But also, I didn't, like, I as Kelariis and I as Jayla, the player, did not even consider for a second that that was, like, an illusion or just a test to see if I would do it the last trial. I was like, well, guess I'm gonna go fight a giant serpent that lives in a sea of fire, bye guys! Like, I was ready to get fucked up. I didn't even consider.
That's an issue!
You have a problem.
Yeah, but like, it like that was probably the easiest decision I made in the sense that this, like, I knew that Kelariis would see that and say, I don't know if I can actually do this, but I have to do it, so I will. Which sounds really stupid when I say it that way.
Yep.
But it's also like, sometimes I think about it and like hearing what other people were saying, like, I don't know if, like Helena was saying, kind of, why would Tritherion require this of like his followers, in the sense of like, why do I have to keep proving myself to him, or like doing this sort of stuff for him? And I think like, yes, he's my deity, and yes, Kelariis technically worships him, but she does it more because she knows that this is what needs to be done to help people and protect people. And I think like it's kind of a weird line where sometimes it blurs and sometimes it's like, I'm doing this less because I want to prove myself to Tritherion and more because I want to be able to do the things I set out to do. And we have like this weird agreement or understanding about it, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to see what happens when I fucking fall down this pit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost as if Tritherion doesn't want a mindless drone who will accept his every word as canon, because that's exactly what he doesn't believe in. He wants a free-spirited individual who is doing it because it is the right thing, not because they are told to do so.
Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like I should have asked Jesmal things, but I think I was just caught so off guard by that I was like, oh, I'm here. Now what?
Well, you only had a minute of talking, so you didn't get much time.
That's also fair. But yeah, I don't know. I think Kelariis understands like the doing things not because you want recognition, but because it's the right thing to do, and like that's totally how she feels about everything. But I think she still also feels bad that so many names that clearly had like a large enough role to be in the same really nice tomb down here with Jesmal, like that all of their names were just erased from history essentially. And I think she feels bad about that, which is why she might not like go and find a way to rewrite the history books to include their names, but she will remember them. Like she'll think about them and be like, these people did things to help, like they wanted the same things, they all fought together.
Yes.
At least to a point. Based on what Heaven said, but like I don't know. I guess that never really sits well with her, where it's like, alright, let's just erase everybody who wasn't the big hero. But meh. A lot of stuff that she didn't expect and that she was prepared for, but in like different ways.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, definitely. Well, this was a very cool session, and I guess we will pick this up next time. So, I guess to everyone who's watching, thank you for watching. To everyone who played, thank you for playing, and we'll see you all next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.